Good.
All right, hey everybody, welcome back again to the Blended Garden community. Here with my girl Joie.
Hi.
Joie.
Hello.
Not Joy, but Joie. So Joie, you and I go way back. And
Yep.
I was trying to remember if we were friends first, artists first, or educators first. And I could not remember. How do we meet?
I believe that we were friends first,
Okay.
and then we started creating art together.
Okay.
hmm
Was
If
it
I,
through shows or
yes, it was through your performances, and you were doing your Tina Turner
okay, it was through
performance.
Tina. There we go. So we met through Tina, right? And then you were looking for work, and I
Yes,
suggested you go to Dalton, and
correct.
you've been a dance teacher working at Dalton for
Yes.
years.
Yep.
So awesome. So I'm glad that you're here because you and I have shared many glasses of wine and talked about life.
Very
and
true.
and we talked about um, growing up as kids being like kind of an oddball. And I was really excited about doing this read with you, but also this little chat because the blended garden, obviously, the dandelion is sort of the oddball of the garden, you know.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about that because I really feel for kids that are in that quirky, weird place, and there's a lot of teasing that happens and stuff like that. So let's chat about that.
Okay.
And we don't have to have a serious chat. We're just having fun today. I remember when we went out for a glass of wine and you were telling me about the skin stuff, and I related to that because I had impetigo as a child, my entire childhood, and it was miserable.
hmm hmm
So anyway, let's talk about what it felt like to kind of be that kid where you're trying to fit in and you're not sure where you belong in the group, and then you blossom.
Right, exactly. Well, growing up, I got teased and bullied a lot because I had eczema. I still do have eczema. However, I know how to control it now. I watch my diet. I watch what I eat. I don't eat red meat, so it's under control now. But if I allow myself to get stressed and get upset, it's definitely a flare up that happens.
So when you were a kid, because I remember as a kid, my eczema, I was always trying to hide. Wow, I had
Same.
impetigo.
I was always trying to hide behind clothes and long sleeves and different type of things. I didn't have much self-confidence. I didn't want to take any pictures. Um, and being a woman of color, and I'm a brown skin woman, being a woman of color, when you do have eczema, it does change your skin color. So it makes your skin color very, very dark.
Gray,
And it's
dark,
very,
yeah. Sometimes
yeah, it's very
gray.
rough. It makes your skin very rough. I didn't want to hold hands with anybody because I didn't want people touching my hands.
Wow.
But like I said, as an adult, I mean, I take 1,000,001 pictures now. My eczema is under control and I have a lot more self-esteem, self-confidence. And I was very upset that I went through that. However, it's made me who I am today. And I must say, I'm definitely strong. I'm definitely resilient. So
That's awesome. So we're going to read the book, and after you read it, because I know this is your first time reading the book, like you haven't read it yet. So this is great because a lot of people have already read it. So I'd like your take after you read it, how you feel like it relates to growing up as a child, where you felt a little on the outskirts, a little oddbally. With my impetigo, I used to wear. Well, I had impetigo, but then I was also this skinny. I had knobby knees, knobby elbows, and I used to wear two pairs of pants because all the girls were filling out, and the boys were noticing, and I was like this, and I had
was also
eczema.
very skinny as well. So
yes, and that's why I was like, I totally relate to you, Joie. And now I love who I am. I love everything about me. I still have my knobby knees and my, big shoulders and all kinds of weird things, but I feel so good inside, and I transform inside. I think that's so important for little children, young kids that are, in these groups where maybe you have to look a certain way. And in the book, you'll read it and you'll see that you have these flowers that were put in a certain place because they looked a certain way. They were pretty. And you have these pretty flowers that you want to lay out and show everyone. And then you have this little oddball dandelion. What do we do with the dandelion? What do we do with the
Right.
oddball kid? So anyway, and can I just tell you that growing up, do you know who my favorite cartoon character was?
Who?
Just take a guess. Try to guess.
Oh, this is hard. It could be anybody.
I know.
Tell me.
Same age range. Okay, I'll just tell you. Olive Oil. I loved Olive Oil
from Popeye.
She was so skinny.
Yeah.
That's how I loved her. She was so skinny and weird. And Popeye loved her. And they were fighting over her. And she was just so odd and weird. Popeye! So that's just my kid thing. And I had a crush on George Jetson, so I'm just putting that out there too. Okay, let's read the book because I do want some time after to see your reflection because this is your first time reading The Blended Garden by Joie Anissa. Now say how the whole name goes because your name is like butter.
Joie Anissa Jackson.
Okay, it's the Jackson that kind of goes like, but then it's the Joie Anissa Jackson. All right, Miss Jackson, let's go.
Okay, let's go. Okay, The Blended Garden. Once upon a time, in a colorful garden, a dandelion sat alone and disheartened. The dandelion saw many flowers from afar, all arranged by their colors. It was quite bizarre. It longed to be a part of the colorful array of tall stems in the wind, where they bend and sway. The old lady gardener, with her hat tilted low, arranging her flowers with the wish that they would grow. Now, this old lady gardener was quite confusing. She thought sorting flowers was quite amusing, placing this flower here and that flower there to match and examine, measure, and compare. As each flower lived in its own special space, apart from their friends, it was a very sad place. With arms reaching outward, they tried to connect, but sadly divided, they did not intersect. The flowers were angry and they began to stand tall. They said to the gardener, "This makes no sense at all. We are all so different, our colors unique. Blend us together and you'll see a great treat. Mixing our colors, red, yellow, and blue, our petals like flags for all to view. A rainbow of ribbons blowing in the wind. The flowers protested, we want to be friends, not separate and sorted by a particular kind. Growing together is how we're designed." The old lady sat in her flower garden, in her flower yard. She said to her flowers, "I've been working so hard. Sorting my flowers is tiresome indeed. And could this dandelion be more than a weed?" So tired she was that she took a long nap and she slept zip, zap, zoom.
Zip, zoom, zap.
The dandelion slept, then slowly transformed, taking flight in the night. Above the gardener it soared. All was quiet just beneath the full moon, unaware of the magic that would begin very soon. The dandelion slept, then slowly transformed, taking flight in the night. Above the gardener it soared. All was quiet just beneath the full moon, unaware of the magic that would begin very soon. The old lady gardener awoke from a dream of a blended garden filled with dandelion seeds. As dawn approached, she has been stretching and yawning, her arms reaching up to the glory of morning. As she lied in her wheelbarrow, feeling rested and free, envisioning her flowers as a field of wheat. This blended garden that I saw in my dream was inspiring, extraordinary, and satisfying to see. The old lady gardener with her flowers agreed. There is magic within this dandelion seed. I will no longer sort my dear flower friends. And she blew the dandelion seeds into the wind. Blow this way and that way and land where you may. You are a part of my garden and here you will stay.
Thank you, Joie. You read
You're
so
welcome.
matter of factly. I love it. So, okay, so this is your first time reading it. So as you read it, and then as you look back to yourself as a child, and I always want to go back to the child because this book is a children's book. Thinking about being a child where you felt a little bit the oddball, excluded a little bit because you were different. You felt different. You weren't different. You felt different because of your outer appearance. So, what's your takeaway? What are your feelings? What do you think? How do you think this could be helpful, like to a child who's going through something like that, or you yourself?
I definitely think this could be helpful. It's very inspiring. Because it's okay. It's okay if you're different. And sometimes you have to grow into that and trust the process. You don't know when you're going through it because it's so hard. It is very, very hard and daunting, but it's okay. And I think that this is definitely inspiring. And looking back at my story, if I had a book like this, I would definitely be inspired and it would help. And it would just give you hope. There's always hope and there's always light, even when it seems like it's dark. So those are my sentiments on it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think like with the dandelion, when you said, it's a process, I think, I've been watching dandelions and I'm just kind of obsessed with them now. And the whole thing is the transformation that's happening with it.
Correct.
And I was looking at it, the one dandelion the other day, and there's a real ugly phase in the dandelion. Like if you really watch it, like first it has the it's closed, and then it when it's in that transformation phase, I think that's the phase that no one really looks at. It's pretty. First, it's yellow. You see the yellow. It's beautiful.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's beautiful. And then it closes up, and then I think that's when people think it's either dead or it's useless or whatever, and they walk by, and then you come back, and then it's the witch. Mm-hmm. But it's that transformation stage that you were talking about, that process where you kind of have to go through an ugly phase.
Yes.
Before you can be transformed into this beauty,
And you just don't realize it when you're going through it. Like I said, it's just really hard. Some people don't make it easy on you. And you just feel you feel like the dandelion, you feel very enclosed. Yes. But like I said, there's always light.
Yeah. And it's true what you said, like some people don't make it easy on you. That's a really great way to put it. I think if I was with a child who was, I work with like 2-3-year-olds. So there's not really much mean. They're not mean girls and mean guys, but as they get older, but we've worked where they get older and you start to see the mean girl things they do. Like, whoa. And I think if I worked with older children now, that's something that I would say to them that, let's not make it hard on each other.
Right.
That's a really wonderful way to put it. Let's just not make it hard on each other. Because I know growing up, I feel like you. I'm like, I wish I had a book like this or something, or a voice, or an adult that could whisper in my ear words of encouragement, of light.
Right.
But the kids can make it really hard on other kids, especially for the oddball kids.
Right. And seeing as you're in school so many hours, you're in school for 7 or 8 hours. Even if you do have a parent or a guardian at home telling you it's okay, you're beautiful, you're wonderful, you're still spending a huge amount of your life in this negative environment. So even, as a child, my mother and father were very encouraging. And even when I felt ugly, they said, you're not, and what have you. But however, you're in this environment every day. So my outlet and the way that I was able to push through it was via dance. And I've been dancing since I was 3 years old. And I always felt like dancing, and I still dance. I always felt like dancing. It's just my outlet. I was free to move and what have you. And I love performing.
You're an
And that was
amazing
my
performer.
outlet. That
Yeah.
really helped me a lot. And
Well,
I forgot completely about those people at school. And school's supposed to be a safe place, which it is not always.
right.
But dance was my safe place. That was my safe haven. When I would walk into a dance studio, even still now, everything just goes away. You leave it at the door, you walk into the studio, and it's a very meditative feeling for me.
Yeah, I saw a picture of you on Facebook and I was like, whoa, where your leg was out and I don't know, you were on some street
Oh,
and
yeah.
immediately I thought, oh my God, you've blossomed. You've just
Yeah.
blossomed into this beautiful woman and that's pretty amazing. And I'm so glad I met you. I'm so glad I know you as an artist, as a friend, and as an educator. And
Thank you.
you bring so much to the kids through dance. And I, like you say, this is why I love going out and having wine with you, because we connect on so many. I know I'm sitting.
I love it.
I'm only doing that because like I'm using Kyle's desk. This is his little place, and he has all his things here. So this is my own little way to. But I love going out and having wine with you because I feel like we have so much in common. Because school was not a happy place for me.
No,
Everyone was having boyfriends. I was feeling like
oh, I didn't have a
olive
boyfriend at
oil. Yeah.
all.
It's like I feel so full.
Yeah.
And I joined the dance company. And when I did that, I felt like this is me. And I just transformed and I bloomed and I blossomed. And then to be able to, before I became a classroom teacher, I was a dance teacher at the school we worked at. And I remember always feeling wonderful going to work because I was giving them my beauty.
Right.
And I felt dance made me feel beautiful inside, and I was able to share that with the children. And so, speaking of dance, Laura is also our girl, our dance teacher girl, and we've been working on the diversity dance, a way to take this book, The Blended Garden, and transform it into movement for children so that they can receive the message of inclusion and receive the message of kindness through movement, because we're kinesthetic beings and we learn through our bodies. I talk with my hands, all kinds
I'm
of
always
stuff.
Talking with my hands. My hands are flailing everywhere. I've knocked over glasses before, just describing a story. My hands are everywhere. And then if I do this gesture a lot and people think I'm being dismissive when I'm not.
Be gone.
Yeah, people think like, oh, so rude, but it's just the way that I am.
I know people have misinterpreted it so many times.
Oh,
but
I'm very
blah, 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 blah. It's like, I'm not angry. I'm just excited.
Exactly. I'm very misunderstood. That's another thing. And I've embraced that, and it's fine.
And it's okay. Exactly. But yeah, I would love to pull you in on this diversity dance idea because I think you can learn through movement, especially with children. You can take an idea concept and create a story and create a message through movement. So we're working on this called the diversity dance and hoping to bring it to schools and hoping to bring it to children who are old enough to learn it. And not just children, because, I say this in every chat that I do, that this book is not just for children, it's for adults that still may need to learn this message. It's for adults that, may still feel this way inside. At the end of the day, I think we're all children inside anyway. And then why not give it to children now so that they can grow into the human beings we want to see, we want to be.
Exactly.
Because it's funny, when people don't make it easy for you, like how you said, let's make it easy on each other. Let's not be hard on each other. You become the person who makes it hard on someone else, because I was teased so much.
It's very,
I turned into the bully.
Yeah. Bullying and teasing can be very contagious. It starts with one person and then maybe they pull their friend in and then maybe another and another and another. And before you know it, it's snowballed into something and you basically have a mob or a gang coming after you.
And think about this. Imagine, not to cut you off, but imagine if in the book, The Flowers, instead of protesting and saying we want to be friends, they came together to say, we don't want the dandelion in our garden. Like there's so many ways the story could go or could have gone.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
even the dandelion, instead of the dandelion transforming and going into that ugly stage of I'm going to figure out who I am before I blow out into the world, he became angry and bitter.
That happens.
And
I
that,
definitely went through an angry and bitter stage. I definitely went through a why me stage. You go through so many emotions, so many.
yeah.
It's a process, but once you're there, you feel great.
You feel great.
Yeah.
You feel like joie. You feel like taking your elbow, putting it on the table, putting your hand under your chin, and
exactly.
saying, "I am fabulous." I used to be olive oil, but now I'm fabulous.
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I feel.
Maybe that's why I love the dandelion so much. Maybe that's why the dandelion has so much attraction. And yesterday I did a reading with Lynette. We know
Okay.
Lynette, and I did a reading a month or so ago with her mom. And her mom made me this amazing shirt. She's an artist of a dandelion, and she sent me a message today because she lives in Florida and dandelions don't grow in Florida, so she had to order some dandelion seeds. Because we're all getting so obsessed with the dandelion because of the beauty inside of it and what we're learning about this dandelion.
Right.
So anyway, she said something in her thing. Let me see if I can really find it. But it was just so hilarious. And here it is. She said, probably one of the reasons because they don't grow in Florida, probably one of the reasons they don't grow here is because Florida's sun is brutal. But no, here it is. She says, getting ready to plant my seeds. I wonder if they will thrive with lots of TLC in a cute pot. They seem to feed off of neglect and adverse conditions.
Wow.
Isn't that deep?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta cut and paste that and post that because that. Thank you, Dana, if you're watching this recording. Thank you. Wow. Because, wow, right?
Yeah.
And it's true. And when I was out in Niagara, they have these, there are lots of land lots. And so if someone doesn't take care of their land lot, the grass can grow like up to here. So I walked by, I was just taking my walk and there was a dandelion. The weeds were like up to your shoulder.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There was a dandelion that rose above the weeds and was just sticking up in the air. It was insane.
Wow.
It was insane. And I thought, and I took a picture of it. I don't know if I posted it, maybe I'll post it another day. But I thought, wow, they seem to feed off neglect and adverse conditions. It was hot. No one had maintained that. And even no matter how much weed killer you put on these guys.
Yeah, they definitely come back all the time. They definitely come back all of the time.
And it's crazy. I was watching these guys with the thing on their backpacks, and I walked up to them, I said, "What are you guys doing? Trying to kill the dandelions?" He's like, yeah, we're knocking them out. I'm like, they're gonna come back, trust me. But and then I thought, why fight nature? I get it. You don't like dandelions in your grass, I get it. But the truth is, grass is not supposed to be here.
Right.
That's why we have we have weed killer. We spend so much money to maintain our lawns because it's not natural for it to be in this environment, part of the world, right? And so we're going out of our way to fight nature, and they're going to come back.
It's going to come back
strong.
Yeah.
In adverse conditions with neglect. So with that being said, blow this way and that way and that way. You have heart of our garden, and here you will stay. Mwah, to the dandelion. Joie, thank you so much. And we will be clanking very soon, having our time to chat.
Yes, indeed. Chat. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, Mama.
I love you.
Love you too. I'll see you soon. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Bye, darling.
Bye.